They reached the safe place just before Donna's small, unremarkable apartment tucked between taller buildings, the kind of place no one noticed twice. Malik parked the car underground, killed the engine, and sat still for a moment, listening. No footsteps, no voices, just the low hum of the city waking up. Inside, Kikik collapsed onto the edge of the couch, her body finally giving into exhaustion. Malik didn't tell her to sleep. He knew she wouldn't. Fear doesn't rest just because the sun comes up. I should call my mother, she said suddenly, panic sharpening her voice. I need to warn her. Malik shook his head gently but firmly. Not yet. If you call now, they'll know we saw the message. They want you reactive. We don't give them that satisfaction. Before she could argue, his phone buzzed again. This time, it wasn't a message. It was a video. Malik opened it without hesitation. The footage was shaky, filmed from inside a car. A familiar street came into view his street. Then a figure stepped into frame. A man Malik recognized immediately, one of his former associates. Someone who had once helped him quietly years ago, before Zara's reach extended everywhere. The video cut abruptly. Then another message appeared. Collateral damage is unfortunate, but effective. Kiki covered her mouth with both hands. Oh God, what did they do? Malik stared at the screen, his jaw tightening slowly, deliberately. He dialed a number immediately. It rang twice. Where are you? Malik asked the moment the call connected. A strained voice answered. I'm alive, barely. They wanted me to send a message. Said if I talked to you again, next time they wouldn't miss. Malik closed his eyes briefly. I'm sorry. There was a bitter laugh on the other end. Don't be. This was inevitable. Just be careful. Zara doesn't forgive defiance. The call ended. Kikik's hands were shaking now. This is my fault. Again, everyone around me gets hurt. Malik turned toward her sharply. No, this is what Zara does. She punishes proximity. She wants you isolated. She wants you believing you're poison. He knelt in front of her, forcing her to meet his eyes. Look at me. This doesn't stop unless we stop letting it work. She shook her head, tears spilling freely. They hurt someone because of us. Malik, they're not bluffing anymore. He nodded slowly. I know. A knock echoed suddenly through the apartment. Both of them froze. Malik stood instantly, moving silently toward the door. He checked the peephole. No one. Then a sound something sliding against the floor. Malik opened the door just enough to look down. A small envelope lay there. No name, no return address. Inside was a single key and a photograph. Kikik stepped closer despite herself and felt her knees weaken. It was the front door of her mother's house. The key matched the lock. On the back of the photo, written in clean, careful handwriting. Next time, we don't knock. Kikik let out a sob she couldn't hold back anymore. Malik caught her before she collapsed, holding her tightly as her body shook. This is what they want, he murmured near her ear. For you to break, for you to run back into silence. She clutched his shirt, voice muffled. I can't do this anymore. I can't live like this. Malik tightened his grip just slightly. Then we change the way we live. He pulled back enough to look at her. His expression no longer conflicted, no longer hesitant. Zara made a mistake, he said quietly. She showed her hand too early. And Hader crossed a line that can't be uncrossed. Kikik looked up at him. Fear still there, but something else now too. Determination. What are you saying? I'm saying this isn't just defense anymore, Malik replied. This is response. He reached for his phone again, scrolling through contacts he hadn't touched in years. Names connected to favors owed, to secrets buried. To people who didn't answer to Zara. They wanted to remind us who's in control, Malik said. Now it's our turn to remind them what desperation really looks like. Outside, the city continued on, unaware that something irreversible had just begun. And for the first time since the threat started, Malik wasn't reacting. He was preparing. Morning came slowly, reluctant, as if even the sun hesitated to rise over what had begun. Kikik hadn't slept, neither had Malik. They sat on opposite sides of the small kitchen table, cups of untouched coffee growing cold between them, the weight of the night still heavy in the air. Malik broke the silence first. Zara thrives on control, he said quietly. Not chaos, control. Every threat she makes is calculated. Every move Haydar makes is approved. Which means someone somewhere keeps records, money, orders, timelines. Kikik looked up. You're saying she leaves traces? Everyone does, Malik replied. The difference is most people hide them badly. Zara hides hers too well, which means she trusts the wrong places. He slid his phone across the table toward her. On the screen was a name she didn't recognize. Kamal Aras. Who is that? She asked. Not important by himself, Malik said, but he's important to Zara. He handles quiet transfers. Off-the-book payments. He's not loyal, he's careful. And careful people panic when they realize they're visible. Kikik frowned. How do you even know this? Because Zara never bothered to erase everything I touched before she pushed me aside, Malik answered. She assumed fear would keep me looking forward, not backward. He stood, grabbing his jacket. I'm going to see Kamal. Kikik's heart jumped. Alone. For now, Malik said. This isn't a confrontation. It's a test. If he panics, we'll know we're close to something real. She hesitated. And if Haydar's watching him too, then Haydar will learn something new about me, Malik replied calmly. The cafe was small, quiet, almost empty. Kamal sat near the window, back straight, hands folded neatly on the table as if he were waiting for an interview rather than a threat. His eyes flicked up the moment Malik approached. You're late, Kamal said. Malik sat without asking. I wanted to see how nervous you'd get. Kamal's jaw tightened slightly. You shouldn't be here. No, Malik agreed. I shouldn't. Which is why Zara will be very interested to know why I am. The color drained from Kamal's face just enough to notice. I don't know what you think I. Relax, Malik interrupted. I didn't come to expose you. I came to warn you. Kamal laughed weakly. Warn me about what? About being disposable, Malik said. You handle her dirty work. You move her money. And the moment something goes wrong, you'll be the first name she forgets. That's not true, Kamal snapped. Isn't it? Malik leaned forward slightly. Ask yourself this. If Haydar gets caught, do you think he'll protect you? Or will he make sure the trail ends with you? Kamal swallowed. Malik stood. I don't need answers today. I just wanted you to start thinking. As Malik turned to leave, Kamal spoke again, his voice lower. You're playing a dangerous game. Malik paused at the door. So is she. I just changed the board. Back at the apartment, Kikik felt the shift before Malik even spoke. Something in his posture had changed, not triumph, but certainty. He panicked, Malik said simply. Kikik exhaled slowly. So it worked. It cracked, Malik corrected. Just a little. Enough to let fear leak the other way. As if summoned by the thought, Malik's phone buzzed. Zara? He didn't answer immediately. He looked at Kikik instead. Whatever she says next, he told her quietly. Remember that she called me, not the other way around. He answered. You've been busy, Zara said, her voice smooth but tight at the edges. Malik smiled faintly. You always did hate surprises. What do you want? She asked. Nothing, Malik replied. Yet. A pause, longer this time. Stay away from my people, Zara said. Or what? Malik asked calmly. You'll scare me again? The line went dead. Kikik stared at the phone. Did we just win? Malik shook his head slowly. No, we just proved she can bleed. He looked at her then, really looked at her. And now she knows we're not afraid to make it hurt. Outside, somewhere in the city, Zara was recalculating. And Haydar, who had never liked unpredictability, was already moving. The game hadn't ended, but for the first time, it wasn't one-sided